You're listening to the No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
Yes, you are listening to the No Limits Radio Show. Welcome to the show. Happy Saturday, everyone.
Good morning, Christina.
Good morning. All right, so today's topic is beauty.
I just say it feels really quiet in here after Thursday's event.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, what's going on with my audio levels? I don't know.
So Thursday night, we were at Raven's B2B networking event at McFadden's, and it was a great event. We had a wonderful location. We were able to talk to some of the exhibitors. I was really impressed. One of the things that I love about Raven's B2B networking event is that she always brings in a charity, a nonprofit. So you get to learn about these great local nonprofits and the amazing work that they're doing. One True Love is feeding people that are hungry and homeless, and the way that they're doing it is really unique. And we're going to have them on at a later date to share more about that. But if you can always go to No Limits Radio Show website, and you can see the whole show from yesterday. I mean Thursday.
Are your days getting all mixed up?
Yeah. What was really cool is that what?
Nothing.
Don't laugh at me.
Go ahead. What was really cool? Because I saw this thing happen on your face that, like, it was a total change. So, like, everything from the right side just went to the left side, and people could just see it. It was like this, So, anyway, go ahead. Tell me what's cool.
Okay, what was really cool is that while we were there at this great networking event doing our live radio show, the game was on right behind us. Mm-hmm. And when I say the game was right behind it, there was a huge screen right behind us. So for those of you that don't know, Vets on Media is doing this football pool. Last year was my first ever year watching football, participating in football, and I always make my picks based on feeling and emotion. And I'm so mad at myself because if I followed my normal logic,
which I did break down,
I would have picked the Ravens.
Because we're at Ravens.
Because we were at Ravens event, and I should have picked the Ravens. And I even thought about that. That thought occurred to me just before the game started, and I said, I need to call JD right now, and I need to change my pick right now.
But you didn't.
But I didn't, and the reason that I didn't pick the Ravens is because of that whole Ray Rice thing.
Yeah, I know, but then you have the Steelers, and their players have drama too. So it was kind of hard for me to decide, and I really hate the Steelers. So my first initial was I'm going to go with the Ravens, but then the whole Ray Rice thing, and I'm like, okay, so I can't go with them, and I really don't want to go with the Steelers. So it was kind of one of those, eeny, meeny, miny, moe thingies. So I got stuck with the Steelers.
It's really making me question how I do any of my picks, because maybe I'm completely wrong. And this whole, picking New Orleans because I love the beignets there, or picking Seattle because that's where my sister met her husband. Maybe I need to be looking at the team.
No. Really, you shouldn't, because listen to what you just said. Your feeling was you should have went with the Ravens, and you didn't. So your philosophy works for you. Just keep it. You just didn't follow through with what your philosophy was that day.
Because I got in my head.
Yeah, and you started to actually think. So. See? It's a bad thing, Christina. You should never, ever fall victim to that.
To thinking.
That's right.
Well.
Anyway, it was a good time. Sunday's picks, I don't have mine in yet. I got to do mine later today. But
well, it's interesting because the drama just keeps on coming from the NFL.
Are you picking the Vikings this week?
I never pick the Vikings because my ex-husband lives in Minnesota, so I just can't pick Minnesota.
Hi, ex-husband. How are you? Christina loves you to death. Anyway.
But no, I mean, Adrian Peterson, when I heard that, so I'm driving in my car and I'm hearing this story unfold about the Adrian Peterson, he's been deactivated from the team. I think that was the terminology that was used.
That is the term they are using, that the Vikings immediately deactivated him upon him turning himself in on Saturday.
Right, because he used a switch to discipline his child. Well, I had an interesting, my first thought was, okay, when I lived in Atlanta, when we were kids, we had a sitter, and that sitter would actually use a switch to spank us. Mm-hmm. So we would actually have to walk down the street, go pick a switch, bring it back, and then that was what we would get spanked with. So when I first heard the story, I was like, okay, hold on a second. Is this just judgment on the way that it's being disciplined? Is this just a case of we're becoming such a nanny state, and now judgment is being, but then you see the pictures and the marks that have been left. I mean, the gouges in this child's skin. It's just, it is horrific.
It is horrific, and it's not, and you and I talked a little bit about this. I was like, well, it's kind of like one of those things, is it just a little mark that is going to go away in 2 hours, and don't hate me, people. Some people are totally against, disciplining their kids with any type of physical force, so I understand that. However, a lot of people do use that for discipline and spanking and things like that. So my thing was, okay, so is there a little mark that's going to go away in a couple hours? You know what? That's a parent's prerogative as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, when you see the pictures, this was not a take the switch 2 or 3 times and do it. And it wasn't just one mark that had broke the skin. It was multiple. You call them lesions? I don't know what you want to call them. I mean, but they're multiple cuts that he had. At least, I mean, you can see at least 10
right
in the one picture.
Yeah, it's horrible, and this was a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old. It really makes me look at, like, while earlier I had said, when I was a kid, that was the discipline. My son has never been spanked. My daughter has never been spanked. Having that experience, watching my brother get spanked, I mean, they would pull his pants down, spank him with a belt. Why? Why do you have to demoralize a child like that? It didn't make sense to me. I always felt like using, and for those of you that are going to hate on me, go ahead, but using physical harm to teach a lesson, it didn't fit. It didn't make sense to me. I feel like there are much better ways to redirect your kids. There are much better ways to teach your kids, and that we focus on the negative, and that some parents use that. Somebody had shared this great picture and a story of a tribe, and I don't remember where this tribe was, but when one of the members of the tribe does something that's wrong, they believe that everyone comes into the world with goodness, and when somebody does something wrong, instead of shaming them, they all surround that person and they tell them how good they are, and they focus on what's good about them. And I'm going to start to cry because I just think it's so beautiful. And anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I don't want you to cry.
I know, I always cry.
I never got spanked as a child. Well, my mom, maybe when I was really young, maybe, swatted me on the butt here or there to get me to stop. But all my mom had to do was say, "You wait till your father gets home." And I don't know why it ever scared me, because my dad never did anything. The only thing he ever did is he took his belt off, and then he folded it in half, and he made that noise, when you take a leather belt and you smack it like that, and he's like, "Do you want this?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, then don't do it anymore." And I'm like, "Okay." But anytime my mom said, "You wait till your father gets home,"
yeah.
I know, but anytime she said it, I'm like, "Oh, shit, I'm in trouble. So much trouble."
My dad spanked me once because I left my shoes at someone's house, and apparently...
How did you do that?
Well, we lived in Chicago, and I hated wearing shoes. And it was cold, and I don't know. I guess it was a...
Ran home barefoot?
Yeah, I did. And so I would consistently leave my shoes at this friend's house, and he was repeatedly, "You can't do that. You can't, And so he spanked me. I really believe that my shoe fetish is related to that.
That just got weird. That just got weird.
From leaving them somewhere or getting your ass beat?
Because I got spanked over the shoes. Like, I just had this connection to shoes. And so now I have all of the, like, I've got in my garage, I've got boxes and boxes of shoes that I will not let go of, even though I don't really like them. Like, what the hell is that? That is batshit crazy right there. That's what that is.
Well, you are batshit crazy.
What about you, Sam? Did you ever get spanked?
Yeah, very little though. I mean, I was kind of a goody two-shoes as a kid. I know you guys make fun of me for that all the time, but I
don't make fun of you. I mean, just because you never went trick-or-treating.
Yeah, there it comes. I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, what trouble could you get into? You weren't allowed to do anything. You weren't even allowed to go get candy once a year.
I mean, I remember, most of it for me was like just time out in the bathroom by the kitchen so my mom could hear me crying, type of thing, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I did it." And it got to the point where, for me personally, my sister never got it. She still doesn't get it sometimes. But I used to put myself in timeout because I was like, "I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't mean it."
I find that adorable. When she told me that, I just...
The first time I spanked Desiree, she was about 5. It was the first time I spanked her. and I was so mad. We were doing this, she wanted to go do this glamour shot thing. Remember when those things were popular? Yeah. So we go to do this glamour shot thing, and she is like in this makeup person's like makeup, like moving it around, like grabbing it, and I tell her no like 3 times because, well, Ron will tell you, you just don't mess with a makeup artist's makeup. So anyway, she keeps messing with it. I tell her no, you've got to stop, and she doesn't listen. So I take her out in the hallway and I swat her on her butt, and she looks at me, she goes, "That didn't hurt." So I did it again until she cried. I'm like, "Don't you ever tell me it doesn't hurt."
Oh my gosh.
Wow, she was good. You knew then you had trouble.
Yeah, she's still got thick skin, so she's a hard-headed kid.
And you know, some moms, all they have to do is look at you. And my mom was like that.
That was my mom.
If we were in a store and misbehaving, all she would do is just look at us. And it was like, oh shit, we're gonna hear about it when we walk out. Like, oh my gosh. And then you straightened up right quick. I mean, it was like,
you know what I did with my kids when they threw a fit in public?
What?
I just drew attention to them. So kind of like the tribe, but in the opposite way. So like when they were throwing their fit, I'd be like, "Oh, excuse me, everyone, if you don't mind, Chase is throwing a fit right now, and he would really like some attention. If everybody could stop what they're doing and watch." And immediately my kids would stop because they didn't want that
the attention
drawn to them.
Right.
So because the beating didn't really work, so I switched to mentally
Humiliation.
humiliating them. Hey.
So for CPS that's not listening.
None of my kids are knocked up drug addicts, alcoholics, or anything like that, so that's okay. I'm doing all right. Knock on wood. Not yet.
That's not wood.
So we would love to hear from you. Go to the No Limits Radio Show page on Facebook and let us know what your thoughts are on parenting. Have you spanked your children? Do you have a different way of parenting and disciplining your children? Go to the Facebook page, No Limits Radio Show on Facebook.com. And share with us your thoughts. We're going to go to a break, and when we get back, we are going to get into our beauty segment. We've got Fawn Chang with us, and she's going to talk about fashion. For those of you that watch consistently, yes, we have really taken up our fashion a notch today.
I actually washed my hair.
Except for the person behind the camera. I'm just bumming it over here, whatever.
Yeah, I washed my hair and did my makeup.
I know. This has been a lot of pressure. Makeup, hair, fashion.
Let's only do this once a year. It's
Thank you.
too much on a Saturday.
Amen.
All right. So anyway, we will be right back. She's Christina, and I'm Michelle.
Are you or someone you know looking for a new job or career? The Vets on Media family would like to invite you to the National Career Fair in Phoenix on September 29th from 11 until 2 p.m. This free job fair will be held at the Phoenix Airport Marriott Hotel, located at 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. This is your chance to meet some of the top employers in the Phoenix area face-to-face. Get ready to jumpstart your new career at the National Career Fair in Phoenix, September 29th from 11 until 2 p.m. at the Phoenix Marriott Hotel, 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. For more information, visit ncfairs.com/Phoenix. Again, that's ncfairs.com/Phoenix.
Breaker 19. How about that bandit? You got them ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
We're back, and we are going to talk about beauty. Woohoo! All right, so we have in studio Fawn Cheng. She is a nationally known personal stylist, image consultant, and she helps her clients own that competitive edge by helping them transform their look, image, and personal confidence. Oh, I need help with this. I love when we bring someone in studio that I know can help me, because and who doesn't need help with this? Fawn, thank you so much for joining us.
It is my pleasure to be here with you ladies today. Thanks for having me.
And you are looking fabulous.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, a lot more thought went into what I was going to wear today for this show, so thank you.
Well, fortunately, we all have on the perfect outfit for radio, right?
Oh, that is awesome.
You can't go wrong.
Except for that camera up there.
Except for the camera up there. Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to fashion, I feel like there are some rules, and I don't know if those rules are still a rule or not. Like, don't wear white after Labor Day. Your shoes need to match your belt. Something needs to match your purse. I mean,
Your shoes need to match your purse.
Do they?
I think.
I don't know. Fortunately, we've got an expert.
I'm here.
All right,
I'm here
set
to
us
save the day.
straight.
So here, there are two rules when it comes to fashion.
Just two.
Two.
This is easier than I thought.
Confidence. Have the confidence to pull something off. And two, play. Allow yourself to play. I probably should have done that in the other order. Play and have the confidence to pull it off.
Okay.
Because really, when you're looking at rules, it's demographic and it's based on the individual. We have so many different body shapes, sizes, styles, budgets, and if you look coast to coast around our country, the weather is different. And, in Arizona, really our weather dictates what the fashions are and our lifestyle here. We spend most of our time in cars when we're getting from one area of town to another. In New York, everybody walks. So there's, we can wear heels here. We can wear things that you can't wear in cities, more urban cities that are tighter, more densely populated, and you have to do a lot of walking. So we have the liberty to wear a lot of things, but on the other hand, we don't get to wear things like cozy sweaters, chunky boots, things like that we love. But we can talk a little bit more about some rules if you want to, if you need hard and fast rules.
Well, the thing that's interesting to me is that when you see in the magazines, you flip through the magazines, and especially when they do that, she wore it well and she didn't. There are so many times that I find myself looking at it and asking, why? Like, why did the one not wear it well? And it's a little bit confusing to me. So it makes me feel like there's these rules that I'm missing.
And I'm so glad that you said that, because that goes back to the first two rules. One, the more that you play, the more accustomed you get to understanding your body and what looks good on you, because you're going to take risks and people are going to give you feedback whether you want it or not, right? And you have your close group of friends that are going to give you honest, loving feedback about what looks good. So when you give yourself permission to play, you start to build that natural kind of fashionista intuitively within yourself. I like to call it the bombshell. The second rule, have confidence, is then once you start to feel comfortable in who you are, start to play with it even more. Then you start to, oh, wow, this necklace, I got a lot of compliments on it. Okay, maybe if I did it in this color, which everybody tells me I look great in, that color will look good. So the confidence and that give yourself permission to play are really two key rules that I encourage people to do.
I love that you brought up the confidence, because I feel like there are sometimes that I see people doing things like I'll see people layering necklaces, or a lot of bracelets, and I look at them and they definitely are coming across like they have confidence in what they're doing, and I sometimes get so stuck in my head of thinking, am I doing it right? Like, does this look right or not?
Well, I love what you've done today, and I think one of the essential things is once you start to play, you start to realize that you can add on other layers, then you also start to incorporate hair and makeup into it. Have you ever looked at someone that was wearing a dress and you just thought to yourself, that dress is wearing her. She's not wearing the dress.
Right.
A lot of times that happens when your look isn't complete. So I like to encourage my clients, be head to toe finished. Just because you've got a great dress on, the rest of you needs to elevate up to that dress's level. So make sure that your hair is nicely styled, that it's smooth, that the ends are finished, that your makeup enhances your look, that you get professional tips from makeup artists and hairstylists and fashion experts. Look, we look at those magazines, like you were saying, Christina,
Right.
all the time, and we see two celebrities. One has done it beautifully and one not so well. They pay stylists to do this, and they still make mistakes, right? They're still making mistakes, even with paid stylists doing it. So this is where I say, give yourself permission, have confidence. You're going to make some mistakes. It's okay. Keep playing. You'll learn more.
You know what's
I'm going to ask a question while she gets her thoughts maybe together. So the rule on white, we're in Arizona. It's like hot all the time.
Exactly.
We can wear white whenever we want.
You can wear
right?
white whenever you want, regardless of what state you live in. Now, here's the thing with white. I mean, if you are in a state that does have more weather, and the weather is conducive to rain, snow, whatever, you're not going to want to wear white bright, obviously.
Right.
A white more like Christina has on today, which is a cream color, and off-white is going to work best.
Right.
But in Arizona, I wear white all year.
So glad she said
so we
that.
can wear white
We
all
can wear
year
white.
in
Go for it,
Arizona.
all year round.
Okay, so someone just brought to our attention an error. Sam, can you take a look at that message and make sure that everything's good? Awesome. All right, so fashion tips for men and women. What are some tips that you would share with your clients?
So when we look at the runway, always keep in mind when you're looking at fashion, New York Fashion Week is just concluding, actually. And so they've set the stage for all of next spring styles. So everything that we're going to see this fall coming out was on the runway earlier this year, earlier in the spring. And so things like leather pants, stylish activewear, printed palazzo pants, those are going to be really great in Arizona.
Printed palazzo pants. Are those things that look like pajamas, I think? Pajama bottoms?
They're flowy. They're really comfortable.
Yeah, my daughter brought a pair, and I said, are those to sleep in? She goes, no, they're to wear.
I had one of my most favorite outfits. This was back from like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to say. Anyway, but palazzo pants. Black, they were flowy, and I just love them. They looked so good on me. I'm so glad that's coming back.
And I'm glad that you brought that up because that style of pants works well on almost any body style. Really, the only body style that doesn't look good in a palazzo pant is tall and skinny because there's just too much fabric that's just flowing and isn't going anywhere. So really tall, really like runway model skinny.
Right.
Oh, I don't have to worry about it then.
I
can still wear them.
Exactly. The rest of us that have thighs and hips, go for it.
Yeah. Well, and I love it. Okay, so with the palazzo pant, what do you do on top of it?
Do something opposite. So if your bottom half is going to be flowy and there's a lot of movement involved, do something that's a little bit more fitted. What would be really great and super fashionable right now are the crop tops, like I'm wearing today, crop top. If you have a great midsection and you're under 30, go for it. Just make sure they're high-waisted. You can show the skin. If not, even if you don't want to show any skin, just layer something else under it. It's a really great way to enhance and create shapes within your body if you don't have the shape that you're looking to create. So
what about a fitted blazer? Would that be something that you could do with the palazzo pants?
Really good question. That depends on where the bottom of the blazer hits. Because if the bottom of the blazer hits too close to your hip line, it's going to truncate your legs and it's going to make you look shorter than you want to look. So generally, something with the palazzo pant, you're going to want to fit close and crop to your body, so that way it elongates your legs.
Okay, so wait, where does the bottom of it need to hit?
On your jacket, I would say if you're going to, you asked if you could wear a jacket?
Yes.
Like what kind of jacket?
So like a blazer, so should it come like down past your hips?
No, it should probably hit just below the waist.
Just below the waist.
Below the waist.
Just below the waist.
The best jacket is going to be a short crop jacket.
Okay.
That's going to make your waist appear to be smaller and your
Okay.
legs appear to be longer.
Okay. Now what about rules for men?
here's the rules for men. If on date night or whenever you're going out to socially, try a jacket. It's a great look in Arizona. I know that too many layers gets hot, but a blazer and jeans is really the way to go and to stand out. Not everybody's doing it. I mean, and it's just a fabulous look. It looks crisp. It looks put together. That third piece, meaning just not the shirt and the pant, but adding a blazer or a sports coat, really shows that you invested some time and some effort into your thought.
I love that look. I love the nice jeans but maybe have some of those like not tears, but they have
distress.
Distress. Oh, I like that term. Yeah. Distress.
I
love
my jeans are today.
Yeah, I love that look. I love that look. Now, I know that you have some new fashion rules. Have we already? So, are the new fashion rules? Are those the two that we've already talked about, or are there more?
Those are
okay. And for men, should they be matching their belt to their shoes?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Match your belt and your shoes. And, in general, that's just a good rule of thumb to follow. Anyway, it makes accessorizing easier in regards to women. But yes, with men, match your belts and your shoes.
Should women match their belt and shoes also?
When possible, yes.
Okay. And then what about the purse?
So, like today, I was a function of time today. I just had to get somewhere. So that's why I always tell women, get your first handbag. It needs to be something neutral that will go with everything. And then when you want to use your handbag as an accessory, then you can match it. But just make sure that everything isn't matchy-matchy. There's not, too much similarity.
Okay.
Incorporating one major component in all of your accessories will pull the whole look together. So, for example, like today, I have chain on my shoe, a silver chain. I could have a handbag in any color with silver hardware on it. That's a great way to pull it all together without it having to match necessarily. Does that make sense?
It does. I have this great animal print purse that I got a couple years ago. I have never used it because every time I look at it, I'm like, okay, is that print in? Is it not? What kind of shoes do I wear with it? Do I just do like, there are some black undertones in that, so do I just do a black shoe? I'm completely lost, and so I just go with...
What kind of print is it? Is it cheetah? It sounds like it's cheetah if it's black and brown?
Yes.
Okay, so it's cheetah. So you can wear black or brown, or like an oxblood red would go, fabulous gold would go great. So really, you can pick up kind of any hue that's within the family range of those colors.
Couldn't she do the cream?
Gold.
I mean,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
What she has like on
absolutely
today even.
Yep.
So I could have used it today. Dang it. All right, well, now I know. Now I know.
Well, it depends. If there's silver stuff on it, then I don't think it would have matched your
right, then I would have gone with silver.
What is the hardware?
It's silver.
It's silver.
Okay, now earlier you mentioned bombshell. What is the definition of bombshell, and what is your definition of bombshell?
Thanks. So I'm writing a book called The Buddha and the Bombshell, and in the book I define what a bombshell is. So we all have our idea and a notion what the bombshell is. She walks in the room and everybody kind of does one of these kinds of things, double take, because she's just fabulous, and that is essential to being a bombshell, right? But again, we're going to go back to the fashion rules. You have to have the confidence, and confidence generally comes from something inside. If your confidence is built on something on the outside, that's going to go away. Because as we know, as you were joking earlier, our bodies change, we age, we're never going to look the same. And so you've got to build that confidence in something about you that doesn't change. Something that, well, everything changes, but something about you that's deeper than just your looks. And so in The Buddha and the Bombshell, and in this upcoming book I talk about developing that inner beauty and cultivating different facets of who you are so that you naturally resonate and kind of glow and have that bombshell beauty about you.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And Michelle, I have to tell you,
what?
You definitely, when she was describing that bombshell, Thursday night, you owned it. When you walked into McFadden's, did you see the people that were looking at you?
It was the dress.
No.
It was the
dress. It was more than the dress.
I will say, I must have somehow in my borrowing of clothes, because it was Sam's dress, it was your heels, and you're like, I had my purse. That was it. and my flower in my hair. But anyway, yes, I had several people compliment me on Thursday. So,
but it wasn't the dress; it was your attitude. I mean, it was your attitude, the way that you walked in and everything. I mean, it was just amazing. For everyone that would like to get the book, I know the book comes out in October. Is that correct?
I have co-authored another book called Success and Beauty.
Okay.
And that book will be out at the end of next month, so end of October. I'll be announcing it soon on Facebook. Very excited.
Okay, so, and Fawn Chang is going to be giving away one of those books. So, the first person to go and comment on our Facebook page is going to get a copy of that book, which
when it comes out. Yes.
Very exciting. Now, I know that you work with people within people's budgets and with what is in their closet. How can I shop in my closet? How does that work?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so there's two essential services that I offer. One is taking a client out shopping. Two is shopping in your closet. Depending on the client and then on the client's needs, we might do a shop in your closet session first. Typically with my male clients, we just go shopping because they'll say, trust me, I have nothing in my closet. Because men don't typically like to shop. Every now and then I'll get a client that likes to shop. But for the most part, my female clients, I would say half and half enjoy shopping. Some do, some don't. But if they do, they tend to have a very vast wardrobe, and they need help making outfits out of what they've got. So you ever open up your closet and you're like, oh, I have all these clothes, I have no idea what to wear, and you end up wearing 20% of the wardrobe all the time because you haven't invested the time or necessarily the energy in taking a look at everything that you have. And so I will come in and help you make outfits. I'll show you some things, or I'll show the client some things that they might be doing wrong and some things they can be doing better. And then during that session, we'll make a shopping list of things that they need to purchase to then make more outfits out of what they've already got.
That's awesome. I need that after I lose the 40 pounds that I'm working on losing, because I don't want to go buy anything in this size. So for people that would like to book a session with you, best place for them to go?
My website, www.fawnchang.com, and you can email me or give me a call.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
What's your phone number for someone to call?
It's at the website.
It's on the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all on the website. Just go to fawnchang.
fawnchang.com.
.com. And it's .com.
.com.
C-O-M.
Yes, .com. Got it. Any last tips that you want to share with our listeners before we go to break?
So 3 things. How to never go wrong. 1, add moto. Add motorcycle, either boots or motorcycle jacket. You never go wrong. Those are 2 classic items you must have in your closet. Number 2, go tone on tone. Whenever you're in doubt, if you can skip the black dress, do camel on cream, on ivory. That's a really great, classy look. And then add gold accessories, and it just amplifies it. It's beautiful. And number 3, go boho. This used to be like a trend for maybe the 20-somethings, but it has matured. The look has matured, and now it's soft and flowy, and really any age group. Your dress, very boho today. So
Look at
add some
that.
boho.
I didn't even know I was boho.
You're such a free spirit.
Yeah, you could say that.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I would love for you to come back again, because I feel like we could talk for even a lot longer period of time.
I would love to. It would be my pleasure.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So that was Fawn Chang. Be sure to go check out her website, fawnchang.com, and go to the Facebook page, put a comment on there, and you just might be the winner of the book. All right.
That's right.
We are going to go to a break, and when we come back, we are going to have Ron Titone, makeup artist extraordinaire. So don't go away. I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle. We'll be right back.
Are you or someone you know looking for a new job or career? The Vets on Media family would like to invite you to the National Career Fair in Phoenix on September 29th from 11 until 2 p.m. This free job fair will be held at the Phoenix Airport Marriott Hotel, located at 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. This is your chance to meet some of the top employers in the Phoenix area face-to-face. Get ready to jumpstart your new career at the National Career Fair in Phoenix, September 29th from 11 until 2 p.m. at the Phoenix Marriott Hotel, 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. For more information, visit ncfairs.com/Phoenix. Again, that's ncfairs.com/Phoenix.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce. I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Breaker, 19. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Do you need an extra push to start your day? Well, then tune in to Addie's Radio. Addie's Radio is a show that explores tough questions in an open and fun forum. The program also engages hard-hitting issues concerning veterans' physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. This show airs every Tuesday from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Vets On Media Network. Addie's Radio is hosted by Jesse James, a combat veteran of Afghanistan, so he knows the problems that veterans face every day. Jesse provides you guidance each and every week to be a better you. So tune into yourself each week by tuning into Addie's Radio. Go to vetsonmedia.com for show details.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets On Media Network.
I love the open. You're listening to the No Limits Radio Show on the Vets On Media. You have no choice. You are listening to the show. Welcome back.
Well, you clicked on the links. You had a choice.
No, you have no choice.
Well, okay.
You must listen.
Okay.
You will be assimilated. All right, so up next. So we've been talking about fashion, and now we're going to talk about makeup. We have Ron Titone, who began his illustrious career as a makeup artist over 20 years ago. 20 years ago. He has worked with Chelsea Handler, RuPaul, Aerosmith. I started to say Ron Paul. RuPaul, Aerosmith, Linkin Park. He's been on every media outlet, you name it. He's everywhere.
I'm all like spread like butter and peanut butter and jelly. That's me on the rye bread of life.
Well, it is wonderful to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here. I mean, if I have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, I want to come in and see gorgeous women surrounding me. And, I mean, everybody out there in Radio Land, I hope you can, at least live vicariously through my voice and, their voices and listen to the beauty that's in this room right now. God, I should have worn boots this morning. I'm sorry. I'm realizing this is really starting to sound insincere, but I'm really being sincere, I promise.
You're so sweet, Ron.
And Ron, you have such a great voice. You really do for radio. I mean, are you hearing
I have a great face for radio, too.
Oh,
That's why I'm wearing the hat.
You have a great voice for radio.
Go on.
I will.
I said go on.
I will. So I had the privilege of watching you do, I've had the privilege of watching you do makeup, and I got to tell you, I have learned so many tips from watching you do makeup. It was really incredible. Many of which I have implemented today. I'm quite proud of myself. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Yes.
So, and we'll get to more of that later. I want to know how you learned your craft.
So, if I had $1 for every time I got asked that question, I'd have $1. No, I'm kidding. I'd actually have probably $5. But the funny thing is, literally everybody asks me that because I've been doing makeup for over 20 years. I've been teaching for over 20 years. I taught for Mac for almost 10 years. I teach privately now. There are people that go into the beauty field like the traditional route. They finish high school, they go to beauty school, or they finish high school and they go to another trade school. But over the years, I've earned the moniker the anarchistic makeup artist, and there's many reasons for that. And one of the reasons is that I've always considered myself an artist in general, and I never went to school. I'm basically self and field taught. And I have to say, even though I was with Mac for such a long time, I had a flourishing freelance career before and after Mac. So, yeah.
I was really shocked to learn that because you are such a master at what you do. I mean, you really are. So I was so shocked having seen your work, observed your work, seeing just the beauty in it, and then after that was when I learned that you were self-taught, and I just thought, wow, that is absolutely amazing. I want to know what some of the common mistakes are that you see women making with their makeup.
I love that question, and I'm going to kind of throw it back a little bit to my good friend Fawn Cheng when she was mentioning that those two elements, play and have confidence. I really believe in my heart of hearts and in my dirty makeup palette that the biggest mistake that people in general make, not just women, that people in general make is that they are not confident enough. People ask me all the time, well, what lipstick is good for me? What shade of red should I wear? What kind of eyeshadow? The thing is, as an artist, I want you to tell me. My philosophy is that I am the vessel, and I want you to fill me up with your ideas, and we're going to make that kind of fantasy come true together. And when I say fantasy, I don't want you to think that I'm going to turn you into, the Borg Queen, like when you open the show. What I'm saying is fantasy can be something as simple as I want flawless skin, or I want a beautiful red lip that I can wear and feel confident in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to everybody?
It does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It was really interesting when I watched you doing what you do so well. You actually had, and you are an artist, but you actually had a palette.
I do.
Like an artist would have to paint a canvas.
Yes, ma'am.
It was fascinating to watch you mix the different foundation. And I don't know if that's something common among makeup artists, but I had never seen that before. And it was really fascinating. And I saw how much time you put into it, and it puts the amount of time that I spend doing my makeup to shame.
Well, you know what? I'm going to stop you right there for a second. Not everybody is a celebrity professional makeup artist. You know what I mean? And just because you saw me, being an artist, like really living in the artist moment, you can be an artist and spend 5 minutes on your makeup.
Listen, when I do my makeup, typically, not today, but typically, it's lipstick on my lips,
Right.
and then I use the same color on my cheeks.
Okay.
I grab the eyeshadow, put a little bit of color on my finger, slap it on there, done.
Can I tell you right now, I love you, okay? Because I'm gonna bring this back again, like into the history books, which if you talk to my students, they'll tell you all the time that I'm always talking about our ancestors and where we came from as makeup artists. But back in like the World War II days, it sort of became a status symbol to like pull out your golden tube of lipstick and apply it like on the bus or something. You know what I mean? Because back then it's like nobody could afford anything,
Sure.
and spending $1 on a lipstick was. You literally were showing people, look, I can afford, to spend a whole dollar. And this is the 30s and 40s. I can afford to spend a whole $1 on a gorgeous lipstick, but I can't really afford to buy anything else. So what you're talking about actually was born of necessity. Actually, I mean, that goes back to antiquity, but it really became very popular during World War II, where, you know, women could only buy one affordable luxury, and most of the time it was a gorgeous red lipstick. So they would do a red lip, and they would take a little bit on their cheeks, pat it out, and, you know, put their hair in pin curls and throw on a dress and go out and do their day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you mentioned affordable. So let's talk about some affordable makeup brands.
Okay.
Like, who do you recommend?
Well, so here's the thing. I'm very, very biased when it comes to questions like this. I'm going to preface it by saying just because I have an opinion about certain makeups doesn't mean it's the right way to go. I think you really have to get elbow deep in all makeups and see which one works for you, which one you like the best, which one you can afford, you know, because obviously affording makeup is a very individual thing, because, you know, especially nowadays, in direct answer to your question, you know, a lot of my favorite brands have become the brands that are now sold in very public arenas, like Walmart, believe it or not, or Target. Target's Sonia Kashuk line is wonderful. I actually have a bunch of the brushes that are made by her company, and they are comparable, if not better, than some of the brushes I've had for about 15 years.
Now, I like that you mentioned the brushes, because I saw when you were doing the makeup, you actually, to apply the foundation, you used brushes. Is there a reason that you prefer to do that over using your fingers?
You know, and that's another really great kind of artistic path question. It really depends the look that I'm trying to achieve and who I'm trying to achieve it on. But in general, as far as foundation goes, really as far as anything goes, I use brushes for everything. No sponge tip applicators. Personally, I don't like sponges. A lot of my colleagues do. But as far as foundation, for me, I like it to look as airbrushed and natural and beautiful as possible, and there's really where your airbrush machine comes in. But let's face it, A, not everybody can afford an airbrush machine, and B, in that respect, I'm more of a traditionalist. I like to get my hand into the tactility of doing the makeup. So when I do a foundation, believe it or not, I use a blush brush, and you may have noticed that. I feel that when you use a very fluffy brush, you're allowing, or you're manipulating the makeup to be as thin and beautiful, yet cover as much as you need it to.
And what about the, what are your tips for things to go on your face even before the foundation goes on your face?
Awesome, awesome question. Thank you. So, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think we're safe to discuss, because I think someone's phone's turned off. In regards to
okay, because I've really been stuck.
I know you've really been stuck trying to, and I'm realizing that a text didn't go through, which means the phone is off, which means he's not listening. So anyway, so yes, in regards to this tip, Ron, when we were with you last weekend, and before he started putting my lipstick on, you got out.
So I got out.
Tell everyone.
Now, this is going to be a plug for the company, and they're not paying me. So if you're listening, Monistat, can you hook a brother up? So believe it or not, the primer that I use, and this was because of a friend of mine, and I'll tell you why, but the primer that I use is a Monistat barrier cream. And I know, listen, I know, I see the looks of horror through the radio, okay, but believe it or not, that particular barrier cream, really a lot of the barrier creams are based in silicone.
I love how you're calling it barrier cream. It's badge cream.
Sorry. Oh my God.
That's awesome.
You know what? Yes, lovingly, I call it my VJ cream.
VJ.
Okay. And hi FAA or FCC. I'm sorry, that's
no,
the planes.
we're internet. We're fine.
We don't have to worry about that.
Great.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, yes, I use the Monistat barrier cream, and because it has a silicone base, basically what it does is it literally it's like a crack filler, and it smooths out the texture of the skin to the point where it literally, even with just the primer, and you can bear witness to this, you can literally see a difference in the texture of the skin once the moisturizer and the treatment goes on.
Because I really looked like I had no wrinkles.
So
I mean,
listen, I got vag cream on my face right now.
yeah, I was gonna say, are both of you ladies wearing it right now?
Oh yeah, I have
all
vag
right,
cream on
let's
my
get
face.
a what for veg cream.
Yep.
Listen, here's the thing. I got to tell you, I did it this morning. So Ron gave us each a little sample of it.
A little tube of vag cream.
a little tube of vag cream. And this morning, and I kept meaning to try it. There were two things I've been meaning to try. The wingtip, having watched you how you did it,
okay.
I want to try that, but I know I'm probably going to make a mess, so I didn't want to try it this morning. But I put on the vag cream first, and I didn't put on, I forgot what order. Like, does the lotion go on your face first, and then...
So and again, I'm going to kind of piggyback on what Fawn was saying about rules. You know what I mean? There aren't many hard and fast rules because I feel that makeup is a lot more art than science. But the general rule is, especially when you're doing skincare, the skincare that you want closest to your skin is what's going to give you the benefit that you want the most, basically. I mean, I know that kind of sounds misleading, but I'll give you an example. In the morning, when I'm going out and doing an appearance or something, I wash my face with a cleanser, not soap, because that could strip your skin. And then I do my treatments. So I do, like, you know, because I'm old, so I do my wrinkle cream. I'm trying to stave off surgery as long as I can. And then I do, like, a barrier cream if I'm wearing foundation. And then I do a little bit of foundation, concealer, whatever else, you know, whatever other kind of makeup I'm going to wear.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So I put the barrier cream on,
Yes.
the vag cream, and then put foundation over it, and I got to tell you, it was unbelievable how much less foundation I felt I really needed to use, and how smoothly it went on. I was like, I look freaking hot. I'm just saying.
See,
and that was...
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, and not to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm from New York. I'm a big interrupter, so I'm sorry. But here's the thing.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
Hey, thanks. So
I mean, we don't mind at all.
Okay.
I mean, please go ahead. Sorry, okay,
See,
fine, I'm done. I'm done.
I paint myself into a corner, people. This is my life.
I'm done, I'm
okay?
done, I promise.
Even my clients abuse me.
I know. What can I say? You abused me for like 6 hours last
6
week.
hours. I thought it was more like 8 or,
my
you know.
gosh, it was.
Listen, this lady really deserves like a big round of applause because we did, I mean, he's not listening, so,
No.
I mean, we did like 3 different looks on her in the span of probably 8 hours, and she was a trooper.
Yep.
Yeah, she was, I mean, in the chair like a movie star, so,
I'll tell ya.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
So just out of curiosity, I mean, you were saying that you applied your foundation, you know, kind of the way that you saw me doing it. How did it feel for you actually doing the application?
It felt great because I felt like I knew what I was doing. Like, and I really like that. I felt like I really had some education around it, and I knew what I was doing. And the finished product, you know, when I was done with it, it looked really great. Now, I kind of experimented a little bit with my eyeshadow because I watched you doing all of the different layers, and so I was kind of playing with that. The brushes just totally mess with me, and so I at first, you know, was using the brushes, and maybe I need to invest in some better brushes. I don't know what the deal is with the brushes, but I like using my fingers. So, you know, I ended up accenting and getting in the contours just using some eyeshadow on my fingers.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, you know,
I don't know if that's very ghetto.
you know what the thing is? I mean, you know, I'm an artist, so I use brushes, but that's not to say that I don't use my fingers. I haven't used my fingers, so
We all use our fingers. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, sorry. He's been gone like a week.
I'm really trying to bite my tongue here. I have blood in my mouth because I'm trying to be good. So
Sorry. Why? Anyway. Okay, so eyeliner.
yes.
Should all women wear eyeliner? I mean, does it help kind of accentuate their eyes? Good word, Sam. Thank you.
So I love that question too because that's probably the one question that I get more than anything. Because typically when I do a makeup, I try not to use eyeliner, and not for any other reason other than to show people that you can have a gorgeous makeup, you can have a gorgeous eye without eyeliner, because so many of us were brought up, you know, watching our mothers and grandmothers and sisters, you know, do that liner, you know, the winged out liner, or, you know, like I worked in New England for a few years, and it seemed like everybody up there had a tan lip and black eyeliner, like all around their eye and nothing else. And it was weird to me. I mean, the thing is, if you're comfortable with that, that's great, you know, but I feel, especially for people, and this is kind of a technicality, but I feel like especially for people with smaller eyes, if you're doing eyeliner all around your eye, you're actually closing up your eye. If you do eyeliner, like a lot of times what I'll do with somebody with smaller eyes or an aged eye is do liner on the top, and that will kind of bring attention to the like what I call the over eye area. So it's almost like you're splitting the eye into a hemisphere, and the top half is kind of what I concentrate on when I'm doing, you know, somebody, again, like I said, with smaller eyes or with an aged eye, like that.
Because I feel like eyeliner is the one thing you can really mess up. You know, like, you're probably going to be okay putting a lip gloss on or a little bit, but if you do eyeliner wrong, it can be really bad.
It definitely warrants practice. Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing that was interesting to me when I watched you do Michelle's makeup, I've always thought that if you're putting on a fake eyelash, you have to do eyeliner. And I saw with one of her looks, you actually didn't. So it was really interesting. And then I realized the reason that I have always felt like I had to do eyeliner is because I don't apply the eyelashes perfectly. So the eyeliner ends up kind of like fixing that line. But you had a great tip. Okay, so for those of you women that are like fighting with putting on your eyelashes and you kind of feel like there's a battle going there and the eyelashes keep winning and you keep losing, share with everyone the tip because it's amazing.
Well, and I'm so thrilled that you found it helpful, and I have to give credit where credit is due. I worked with a very famous makeup artist in New York. His name is Kabuki. He got famous doing Sarah Jessica Parker's makeup on Sex and the City, but among other things. But he actually taught me at Fashion Week one year that for somebody, you know, who has difficulty putting the lashes on or even wearing the lashes, you actually take the full strip and cut it into about 3 or 4 equal or equidistant sections and glue those sections onto the eye, and you'll see that A, it's easier to apply, and B, it's easier to wear because it's like it makes that disjointedness that gives, believe it or not, a more natural look when the eye is moving.
Sure. And the other one was just using the tweezers to attach it in the middle. Like I've always tried to attach it at the end, which then this other side is like sticking up in the air, and it's just a mess.
Yep.
I am every marketer's dream when it comes to mascara. Whatever they put out there and say, this is going to make your eyelashes longer and more beautiful, I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. I have bought so many different kinds of mascara.
I bet.
The most recent one was this Unique by Monique, which has basically like a two-step process, and this is supposed to like actually add lashes. Okay. It didn't work for me.
Okay.
It may work for people that actually have eyelashes, but for me, it did not work. I was curious as I was doing it, is this me and I was putting it on wrong? What are your thoughts on this product or other mascara products? Like, have you found one that's the best?
First of all, you've got to remember that every makeup company is trying to push mascara on everybody. Just for example, and I'm not disparaging, but MAC has a new mascara probably twice a year, and they do that for marketing purposes because it's supposedly an easy sell. But going back to using the actual product, you know, it's almost like with the extensions that you're talking about, it's almost like a hair weave. You have to have something for the fibers to hold on to. And I'm not saying that, you know, you don't have eyelashes. Of course you do. But you got to keep in mind that some people are born with shorter or thinner lashes, and as we age, the lashes actually start to deplete, and we can lose some of the lashes on a permanent basis. That happened to my grandmother. So that's something that you have to be aware of. Now, as far as mascara goes, hand in hand with what I just said, that's one of the reasons I usually never use waterproof mascara, because waterproof is extremely hard to get off. It almost creates like a liquid latex around the individual hair of the lash. So I always tell my clients that water resistant is good enough. It's not going to go anywhere, and you're going to be able to get it off. So just I would say to you, don't feel bad that you found that the fiber lash thing didn't work for you, because I'm going to be honest with you. When I do my work, I love using fake lashes because I just think it makes everybody look amazing, even just a couple of individuals, you know what I mean? But I think if I had to give advice, I would fall back on false lashes versus that, spending like that $50 or $60 on some crazy mascara that's going to promise you something that it can't deliver.
Right, absolutely. And okay, so eyelashes, are there better types that, what are your recommendations for the fake eyelashes?
Obviously there are fake lashes, and then there are fake lashes. I mean, Halloween is here, basically. You're going to start seeing a lot of literally spun plastic lashes. If you want to really wear a lash like you're wearing today, like we did with this creature right here, this lovely creature, I always like to get the human hair lashes. Lashes definitely can be made of synthetic fibers, even, quote-unquote good lashes, but I use a brand called Red Cherry, and they make an amazing human hair lash. A lot of their lashes are hand-tied, and they're cheap. They're like $2.50 a pair. So if you go to like a real beauty supply store where they sell wigs and machines and stuff like that, you can definitely find Red Cherry either there or online. I usually buy them online.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ron, any last tips that you want to share with our listeners?
I just would encourage everybody to really be confident. If you feel like wearing something, wear it, because if you're comfortable wearing it, nobody can say anything to you.
And where can people find you? Because Halloween is coming up.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to do something wild and crazy, and you have a vision of what you want to look like, this guy is going to make it come true. So where do people find you?
So you can actually find me on Facebook. I am Ron Titone Makeup Artistry, and all my information is there. My phone number is there. My portfolio is there. And if you're interested in talking about booking, please drop me an email, an inbox message on Facebook, and we will definitely get together and talk about it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
It
was
is
a
always
pleasure.
a pleasure. All right, we're going to go to a break, and when we get back, we are going to be talking with a hairstylist.
Sarah, she should be here any minute. She also lives by us. Didn't know about the 101 being shut down. So she was 10 minutes ago getting off on Greenway, so she should be walking in any minute now.
Perfect. All right, so
yes.
we're going to go to a break. I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle.
Are you or someone you know looking for a new job or career? The Vets on Media family would like to invite you to the National Career Fair in Phoenix on September 29th from 11 until 2 p.m. This free job fair will be held at the Phoenix Airport Marriott Hotel, located at 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. This is your chance to meet some of the top employers in the Phoenix area face-to-face. Get ready to jumpstart your new career at the National Career Fair in Phoenix, September 29th from 11 until 2 p.m. at the Phoenix Marriott Hotel, 1101 North 44th Street, Phoenix. For more information, visit ncfairs.com/Phoenix. Again, that's ncfairs.com/Phoenix.
Breaker 19. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veterans supportive campuses with they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strongly about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com.
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
All right, welcome back. So our hairstylist is stuck in traffic. So
curse you, Arizona construction.
Yes, dang it, Arizona.
I know.
All right, so we have actually brought Fawn Chang and Ron Tatone back in. I want to talk about the role that you guys think the media plays in self-confidence, because the consistent thread between both of you today has been it's all about confidence.
Yes.
It's all about confidence. So, Fawn, what do you think the role is in the message that media plays with women?
Gosh, you really are tugging on a heartstring for me personally. Not only because this is something that's personally important to me, but it really was the impetus for me writing the book, The Buddha and the Bombshell, because I'm around the fashion and style industry, and I've worked with runway models, and you get a little bit tainted in your perception of what beauty means. And then I work with women who bring me to their private homes, in their closets, and they're women just like you and me. And you realize there's such a big disparity. And the women, most of us look at the runway models or the gals in the magazines and compare ourselves to them. And so we go with this onslaught of I'm not enough, or I need to be skinnier, I need to be prettier, I need to have smoother skin, I need to, oh my gosh, I'm getting old, and oh my stomach, I need to suck it in, and am I wearing the right thing? There's so many things that we're telling ourselves on a daily basis, heck, on a minute-to-minute basis, that tells us we're not enough and we're not beautiful enough. And so that is something I'm so passionate about. I'm so passionate about helping women feel beautiful by developing an essence and confidence.
You know what I find really interesting about what you just said is that when you said, women like us, I'm looking at you, and I've always looked at you. I've known Fawn for some time, and I've watched what you do, and I always look at you as one of those runway models. Like you just have your whole look, and everything is so together. And recently, you posted on Facebook about this experience, and you were really vulnerable. And I have to say, a lot of the things that are constantly in my head, you shared about that, and I think it was wonderful. It was really wonderful.
Thank you. When I started to write the book, I had a lot of people tell me, you get naked with this book and be willing to be vulnerable, because a lot of people are going to look at you and they're going to think, oh yeah, if we look like you. And I look at myself and I don't see that. I think, oh okay, I try hard. I do the things that I need to do, but then I just let it go. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the best you can do is the best you can do.
And you have, and it sounds like, from what I read in the post, it sounds like you have friends around you that really support you.
Oh gosh.
Thursday night, I wore this red dress, and Michelle had come over to my house, and I'm just going to share this with everybody. Michelle came over to my house. I'm trying to pick out what I'm going to wear, and the truth of the matter is, I'm 40 pounds heavier than where I like to be, and so I put on this dress, and my butt, my thighs, I'm picking it apart, but I love me in red. And I'm just like, oh, and I don't know. And Michelle was like, you got a butt, okay? That's your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was like, well, let me try on this black dress. So I put on the black dress. She was like, guess what? Your butt looks the same in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you still have an ass.
Right.
You know, I mean, whether you put black or red or purple, it doesn't matter what color you put on. She has an ass. But some people love having an ass. So there's
Right.
nothing wrong with the fact that she has an ass. But I said, you're trying to just make it not look like you have one in black, but the reality is you still look like you have an ass. It's
So
not
I
gonna
said, screw
change.
it. I said, screw it. I'm wearing the red. I'm going to own it. This is my
Yeah.
body, and just go with it.
Beautiful. Two things. One, I tell my clients, don't wait until you're whatever, a different now has occurred. I'm 20 pounds less, or I've gotten Botox, or my boobs get done, or whatever. Don't love your body and love who you are now, and let's start here. That doesn't mean that you don't exercise. That doesn't mean that you don't make healthy choices. That doesn't mean you look to improve yourself. It just means you do what you need to do, let it go, and love yourself right here, right now. Number two, if you look at the women that you admire in your life, or celebrities that we admire, like truly admire, not that we say, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous, that we truly say that is a woman. They're not perfect. They're far from perfect looking. There's something about them. It's their character, it's their spirit, and it's the way they interact with and engage with the world.
And you know what? Not to interrupt again. I'm sorry, New Yorker.
I know.
Bring it on.
Yeah, just throw things at me. But I have to piggyback on what you just said, because again, going back to what I said about what people's biggest mistakes are as far as makeup goes, that's it. It's a confidence issue. And something else that I want to point out that you were alluding to is that models aren't even models, okay? And what I mean by that is that let's take one of my old clients, Linda Evangelista, okay? One of the most gorgeous women in the world ever, okay? And an original supermodel, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Do you know when they do a shoot with her how much airbrushing and photoshopping they do? They literally take the picture and they cut it into pieces. They extend her neck, they open her eyes, they make her cheekbones higher. This woman is like, I don't know, 42, 45 at this point. Again, like you were saying earlier, Fawn, we never stay the same. We're always changing. We're organic beings. And this is something that we really have to learn to love about ourselves and love about each other.
Exactly. And the better that we are at doing that really authentically for ourselves, the more that we put those messages out there, because the media is continually bombarding us, if not with stories, with images. And it really is the images, because we create the hell in our own mind. We create the comparisons in our own mind. And when we can put that message out there, you're enough just as you are. That's not to say go play with makeup. Invest in your wardrobe. Be the best that you can be. But then work on the messages inside of your head that tell you that you're not enough, and learn to silence those. Learn to engage with other women. You talked about my girlfriends. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do without my girlfriends. They're like my sisters. I mean, I can think of 3 of them off the top of my head right now that if it wasn't for them, sometimes I would slip into that kind of mental negativity that just brings me down.
There are people that I've worked with in the past, because I do a lot of charity work, and excuse me, there are people that I've worked with in the past who have cancer, who have HIV and AIDS, issues where the skin becomes diseased. And I help them, I teach them how to cover things up, how to treat things, and their confidence level, I wish I had the confidence that some of these sicker people have, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's really, really what it's all about. It's all based in love as far as I'm concerned.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So I guess it just goes back to being comfortable in your own skin. And I can think of people that I know that are that way, that are comfortable in their own skin. And I so admire that. Barbie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Loved Barbie. Do you think that Barbie has had any impact on little girls and the way that they view their bodies?
Oh gosh, yes. I have a love-hate relationship with Barbie, and I grew up in the Barbie era.
Yeah.
I loved everything about Barbie. Her hair, her figure. I would stick
her clothes,
socks in my
Yes,
shirt
honey,
so
the
that I would
clothes,
have her
right?
body.
And that dream house.
And then Ken.
And Ken.
right?
God, I wanted Ken.
Ken was hot.
Shit.
Who didn't?
He was smooth, but
Right.
still, he had money, he had a car, I mean, give it to Uncle Ronnie. You know. Sorry, girls. We get sidetracked.
But Barbie didn't have a butt. And for a girl that, like, even as a kid, I had a butt. Like, in ballet class, when they would say, tuck in your butt, I'm like, I can't. That's my butt, okay? Like, it doesn't go in any further.
So here's the thing. I think any situation can go a bad way and it can go a positive way. If you look at Barbie, Barbie also was a stimulus for creativity and for playtime. And if it wasn't for Barbie, I really wouldn't love being a woman like I love to be today. For me, and this is what I talk about in my book, is a bombshell truly loves being a woman, and it shows. It's playtime with her body and her hair and her face. And then she engages with her sisters to help them to feel beautiful too. And not in a way that's sugary and just complimenting them, but telling her, I love you. No matter what you look like, sister, you're solid. And go, yeah, keep working out, doing all those things, but you're just fine, just the way that you are.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. I'm going to flip it on the kind of the other side of the alternative lifestyle line, so to speak. I have many friends. One in particular, Jujubee from RuPaul's Drag Race. We used to work together at Mac, and every time I look at her, even to this day, I think, you know, that is an inspiration that I can see was taken from traditional beauty. And Jujubee, if you don't know, she's Laotian, and you know, maybe, you know, not a traditional American blonde, blue-eyed. But let me tell you something. If you don't know who Jujubee is, you need to go on the internet and look at this girl, because girl with a U, G-U-R-L. But she is fierce, and it's all about confidence. Seriously, because she's a guy in real life, but when she puts her drag on, just like RuPaul, just like Divine, just like any number of illusionists, you know, it's all about channeling that persona. And I know for me, like, especially when I go out on a job, it's like you're channeling this persona to not only to help yourself, but to give to your clients. You know, I mean, I need that alone time with my clients in the chair so they can perform for the camera. So
I love that you just educated us all, because I didn't know, like, with drag queens, I don't know if is it a girl? Like, I didn't know how to refer to them. So I love the education you just shared. I so appreciate that. I cannot tell you how much I really appreciate that.
Well, because there are guys who are guys on a regular basis.
Yes.
But they like to dress up, and they're considered drag queens, right?
Well, you know, in that respect, it can go a couple different ways, because there was years and years ago, there was a female impersonator who did Peggy Lee, who I was in love with, and he was straight. He had, you know, a wife, he had kids, but then, you know, again, like, you look at the guys on RuPaul's Drag Race, and all of them are gay. You know what I mean? Okay. So, yeah.
And they always look flawless. Like,
I know, right?
It's
oh
crazy.
My gosh. There was one time some girlfriend.
Tips, jeez. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Seriously, there was
crazy.
this one time my girlfriends and I went to this bar, and everyone in there was a drag queen. And I was like, after 15 minutes, can we please go somewhere where I feel like the prettiest girl in the room?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Because at this point, I really don't feel like one.
I don't feel pretty.
But you want to laugh, the vag cream that we were talking about earlier? Drag Queen Secret.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That is
you
awesome.
You get the best tips from them. I'm sorry. But
so we go hang out with some drag queen?
Apparently we do.
Yeah, you need to start hanging out with the girls. Yeah. With the G-U-R-L-Z, okay?
That is too funny.
We definitely do critique as women. We critique ourselves way too much. I mean, I did it with these photos, and Sam has a list of ones that I'm like, delete, 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 delete. And then there's some I'm like, well, I like that one, but I don't like my legs. If you could just zoom it in and look at that. And Sam's like, no one's going to be looking right at your leg. It's like, because you know the spots of you that you don't like, and that's where your attention goes to. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like that dimple right there, you know. So
but we guys don't look at that. Like, the person who you're doing this for isn't going to dissect it the way you are, and that's hard. That's hard to accept. But they're not. I mean, he's not going to look at it the way that you are.
Yeah. Bingo. I love that you touched on that. So earlier when we were talking about head to toe look, that's another thing that you can do to distract from some of the not so attractive areas or some of your not so favorite areas. By having a head to toe look, we're looking at something that's overall. You're not nitpicking little details. But yeah, we can be brutal to each other as women.
So if your thighs aren't great, maybe wear a big necklace.
Yeah, and have fabulous hair.
And have fabulous hair.
And don't forget the makeup.
Yeah, fabulous
And great
lips.
makeup.
Okay.
Or a push-up bra. Or something. Or chunky heels. Anything but a tight dress at that point, right?
I think I read something on Facebook. It's like, when you have a bad hair day, wear a push-up bra.
That's what I do.
That's every day.
You know, and let's face it, I have a bad hair day every day because it's all gone.
But you know what I think is great is, you had touched on that, is having those girlfriends in your life that you can trust, and that they give you that honest feedback.
Here's one thing that we can all do today, starting today as women, is stop being catty.
Mm-hmm.
Stop putting it out there, and stop making it okay to judge other women, what they're wearing, what they're saying, what they're doing. If you have time to talk about other people, you're wasting your personal power, because you should be investing that time into either promoting other women and helping them fly, or to making yourself get over your negativity and judgmental attitude.
Well, and I mean, gossip is really just about power. It's about manipulation of power. And if you see, even if she's not one of your close girlfriends, but if she's an acquaintance, if you see her doing something that you think she might get better results by doing it a different way. I used to have bangs, constantly bangs, and an acquaintance, a friend, said, you know what, I think you'd really look better and you'd open up your face if you grew your bangs out. We've all been talking about it. And I was like, damn, why didn't somebody tell me?
Right.
Don't talk about it.
Right.
Come to me.
Right.
Tell me what I'm doing that I should be doing different.
And what's necessary in order to create the space where someone can give you some real feedback, because generally people are tiptoeing around feedback because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
They don't want everyone to think they're like me. That just is the one that says it. So give us the tip. If you don't want to be known as me, how would you approach someone if they could fix something and make it appear better?
I think we all kind of want to be like you, because you give yourself the permission to just call it like it is. But
she rubs off on
there's a lot of different personalities, and you want to be able to give people feedback. And I think the most important thing is to create loving relationships with one another, with each other as women, and create spaces where we can talk about things that we feel vulnerable about or insecure about. Create the space that makes it okay to say, I don't know what to do here,
right.
and for someone to give you feedback, and to say, and if you don't do it, you're still okay.
Right.
There's no expectations.
Yeah. It's all about packaging the delivery.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when it comes to creating this great space, there's actually an event next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, where we're going to be at this great space, and I want to briefly touch on that. Thank you both for coming in today and coming in for this last segment again. I know we just kind of threw it at you. So for everyone that would like to connect with Fawn Chang, definitely go to fawnchang.com. And for everyone that would like to connect with Ron Titone, it's Ron Titone Makeup Artistry on Facebook. So definitely, if you have an event and you need to have your makeup done, talk to Ron. If you need some guidance in your closet and you just need some help, or you want somebody to go shopping, it's a little bit overwhelming. When you go shopping and you have all of those choices, it's like, I just don't even know. Right. So having someone that is an expert go with you, that is incredible. Next Saturday, Saturday the 20th, we are going to be at the Boomer Wild Women Health, Wealth, and Beauty event. It's an all-day event, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We're going to be broadcasting from the event. There are speakers lined up. We're going to learn about what perimenopause is and what to do about it. Because I've self-diagnosed myself. I went to WebMD and I've got every single.
Oh yeah, Thursday she told me for sure I am absolutely perimenopausal, and I'm like,
positive.
Really? She's convinced that she is now going through menopausal.
Give me a pill.
So yeah, she's ready for the pill or whatever. But this should be a great event, which absolutely encourages really what we're talking about, which is about having friends that you really can grow old with, and having those relationships and how to make them flourish and things like that. So it's an all-day celebration of women, basically.
Yep.
So
it's going to be incredible.
Great. And what else? Sarah isn't obviously going to make it, our hairstylist, but we will put her information on Facebook because she is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm bummed that she couldn't be here. Her hair is like funky, like pink here and black here and blonde here, and she owns it. I mean, I'm looking at it like I would look like a skunk, but you rock it. So yeah, so she's
So
not
we'll
gonna
have
be
to
his.
maybe we can have her in another
We'll have her
time
on
so we
another
could talk about hair. If you love sports, I want you to stay tuned for JD's Rockin' Sports. Just go to vetsonmedia.com and search for JD's Rockin' Sports, because that is what they're going to be talking about for the next couple hours. We've got a lot of really great shows on Vets on Media, so be sure to go check out Vets on Media. Support what they're doing. This is all about bridging the gap between the civilian and the military community. So definitely check out Vets on Media. There's a lot of great opportunities if you're looking to advertise or really support this network. Check that out. And before Sam just cuts me off, I'm going to wrap this up. This is Christina. And that's Michelle.
And I'm Michelle.
What so proudly we hailed, and the twilight light